I was asked the question, what is the future of conventional headphones versus DSP? And at some point, will perhaps DSP take over conventional headphones in the market? And I think that the answer to that is that I believe that DSP makes good drivers and good headphones better. I don't think it's a substitute for having a good product to begin with. You'll never be able to take DSP technology and turn a terrible product into something that will be a really well-designed product. On the other hand, DSP can take a great product and make it potentially even better. So I think that ultimately these are really should be seen as complementary technologies and things that will co-evolve either in the headphone by themselves or in a headphone plus an app, and give people a diversity of different choices and solutions, and hopefully it will make their headphones more flexible and more fun.
Yes, I do believe DSPs will surpass performance of passive headphones at the same price point. We have been doing DSP in our headphones with the Cypher cable since 2015, and we can see a lot of benefits, especially with 3D audio, VR, and hearables and smart audio coming along. You will have DSP in most of the chipsets available, so why not use them to get better audio quality?
I think DSP has a potential to get us closer. It's always going to cost more money. Obviously, there's more product involved there. There's additional processors involved. It's always going to be more money. Can it be a better product? It can, to a certain extent, as long as you're dealing in the linear range of the transducer, linear range of the speaker. The issue is modeling the non-linearities. That's where it comes down to. Your money may be better spent actually making a more linear transducer, more linear system in the first place, instead of trying to use DSP to correct the non-linearities that happen when you're still in the linear range. When you start to push your driver too far, you can't correct for that. Will it be an advantage for most people? Probably a step up. Will it exceed? Not really sure. It's going to take probably more than 5 or 10 years minimum before we can even get to that point.
Do I think DSP? I actually don't think that the DSP or the processing will be primarily in headphones going forward. We had a whole panel about that today. I don't think that, there are practical issues like syncing video and audio, minimizing latency. So having a headset, Sankar Thiagasamudram from Odyssey was discussing this as well. To have the headset do the video and then a whole separate audio DSP or processor in the headphone can create more latency. And so, having the headset probably do most of the processing, for example, would be a better solution. And then having the transducers be more, dumb, not so smart. So I don't think the processing is going to be in the headphones. I did order an OSIC headphone, so we have one coming. And that's pretty processor intensive in the headphone, so I'm going to be curious to see how they pull it off. But I think ultimately I'd like to see Odyssey and companies like Hi-Fi-Man and Focal and Sennheiser making great transducers, because at the end of all that DSP, at the end of all that processing, you need a great transducer. If you look at Smith Audio, nobody does 3D out-of-head headphone experience better than Smith, and they've never used a mediocre headphone at the end of their processing, nor have they created their own. They're using Stax, Sennheiser. Again, at the end of all that processing, you have to have a great transducer.
Right, so as far as, let's say, headphones and DSP, digital domain is concerned, let's put it this way. For us, it's kind of pretty simple. It's a bit like in the audio chain when you do recording or mixing sessions. You can achieve a pretty good result if the recording is so-so, while spending tons of time and using tons of stuff to correct the problem you have during the recording, during the mixing sessions. The same goes for the, let's say, headphones industry and drivers. You can use DSP to correct some problems of the drivers and so on, but at the very same time, it's a bit like the recording process. If you can fix the problem and optimize the recording quality of it, so the translation quality, thanks to a super good driver, you will get obviously even better result at the very end of it. So that's pretty much the core idea behind it. Obviously DSP is a very interesting solution, but at some point, if the drivers themselves are not great, you cannot magic acoustics. What I mean is, as an example, with a DSP, you can fine-tune a frequency response curve, right? But you will never be able to achieve fixing problem related to resonance frequencies and so on, like the waterfall frequency response curve, so the damping capabilities of the drivers itself, depending on the frequencies. If the waterfall frequency response is bad, no DSP will be able to fix that problem for you. So I would say it's a combo of two very good things. The best possible drivers first, and if necessary, be it for some tuning reasons for you, because you like more that kind of listening taste and so on, DSP is interesting. But let's say for us, it's a kind of combo solution. DSP only will never magic super high quality audio if the drivers behind it are not 100% perfect. That's pretty much it.
Is it possible for headphones that implement DSP to surpass the performance of passive headphones? I think the answer is eventually yes. And there's one, I think, really interesting, there's actually more than one, but one great example of something that's really interesting happening within that realm right now is a gentleman from Germany called Wolfgang Klippel. And so, for instance, what he's been working on are a series of algorithms that he can characterize the nonlinearities of a transducer and figure out how to counteract those nonlinearities purely in DSP. So to me, that's very promising, and there are other examples out there of similar companies and individuals who are doing this research. So I think what it really boils down to is how much DSP power is actually required to do these things, and what does battery life look like, or what does power consumption look like. So as soon as we solve problems of power consumption and have more powerful DSP chips, I think it will definitely happen.